We are turning up the new format here with Springans actually having success. A look at what Kashtira is planning, and yes, new Plunder Patrol, along with some other little interesting deck showcases. Alright, to the 34% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is a first place Spriggan deck. Now, what's so cool about this is basically you get access to big old Captain Sargass down here, which is going to give you the ability to on-summon, search for good old Tally-Ho Spriggan here, which the objective of this is to blow your opponent out of the water, because it's going to, you know, do the detach X number. You're going to go ahead and toggle, special summon, and then, you know, Mr. Sargass here is not going to, you know, not going to give two craps about what's going to happen here. He's just going to start cleaning up the field. This deck is actually incredibly cool at, like, the game plan that it's actually supposed to be lining up for. Now, what I also want to point out here is this particular build is actually focusing on the Fallen of Albaz package. Not an intensely crazy one, because we're only playing one brand of fusion, but this gives you access to, you know, do Brandon and High Spirit plays, and some other generalized points that you would normally kind of focus on here. So, a kind of important to point that out. So you get standard triple Ash Blossom, your 2 Fallen of Albaz, 2 Ecclesia, your 1 Branga with triple copies of Brothers, 2 Captain Sargass, your triple kit, 1 copy of good old Springans, 2 Rocky. Then we have 1 Brandon Fusion, 2 Brandon High Spirit, 1 called by your triple Gold Gondola, 2 Smashers. Yeah, so this thing actually, for your value for this, yeah, especially the Springans monster from your deck is pretty good. We have good old Booty, 2 Ribble Watch, triples Tally-Ho, your triple Imperm, and 1 Blast. And then, of course, you got the 1 Explorer, triple Merrymaker, Dugaris, 2 Sargass, 1 Zeus, 1 Dollar, triple Iron Dash, 2 Mirjade, and 1 copy of Albion. And then triple Droll, 2 Space Rock, your triple Book, triple Cosmic, and then 2 Dark Roller and 1 Harpy's Feather. So yeah, I know, 14 card side deck. Wrapping up, well, your Fallen of Albaz Spriggans Turbo. Next up here was a very interesting, they put together the Kashtira deck, ran it through an event, and they're main decking the Book of Eclipse. Now, I'm starting to see that this is starting to actually become a main deck like thing right now. Like, I kind of think going into this format with what Kashtira is doing, you're probably going to have the main deck of the book. That's what we're starting to see here, at least in terms of developing trends. Of course, you're citing the engravings down here. And then, yes, Nightmare Corrupt Ribley. There's a lot to really unpack with this deck, but there's a lot of tech choices really starting to show here in terms of the development for this. And then, of course, you know, the counter pick here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, your triple Dimension Shifter, triple Fenrir with 1 Ogre, triple Rise Heart with triple Unicorn, 2 Kashtira Scareclaw, and then 1 Tier Elements Kashtira. Then, of course, triple Book of Eclipse, because you're probably going to be seeing a lot of this, triple Birth, triple Papyrus with triple Pot of Prosperity, your triple copies of Parios, 1 Terraforming, triple Imperm, your 1 Big Bang, and your 1 Preparations. Side deck, you got the 1 Almirage, 1 Lingaribo, 1 Asa, 2 Diabolsis, 1 Big Eye, 1 Draco Sack, 1 2 Shangri-La, 2 Rise Heart, 2 Zeus, 1 Dark Arm Dragon, and 1 Baron. And then, of course, best card, Nightmare Corrupt Ribley, triple copies of Space Rock, your 1 Change of Heart, your triple Lance, your triple copies of Engraving, 1 Feather Duster, and actually 1 copy of Mind Control here. This is for, like, these 2 are like for shenanigans for the mirror match. You're probably like, well, you know, how does that work? Well, when a Shangri-La resolves its effect, you can go ahead and plop down your Arise Heart on top of it. A little bit of a fun fact, so if they hit standby phase, you are off to the races, and your opponent's going to go, what? Yep. All right, next up here is Plunder Patrol, and yes, that is the amazing Jord. You can declare 1 attribute, return this card to the extra deck from the Pendulum Scale, special symbol summon 1 Plunder Patrol token with a different attribute to each player's field. Alright. And then if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, except during damage, you can have 1 Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. Then if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, special summon the Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. Then you target 1 Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and if you do, place this card in your Pendulum Zone. This actually dips on out, which is fine, actually, so you can do, you know, modification here with Jord. So we have 2 copies of the Sea Guide. We have 2 copies of Shipwright, 2 Jerusalem with triple Magna Hut, triple Effect Veiler with triple copies of the Golden Hair, 2 copies of Redbeard, 1 Griffin Rider, triple Water Enchantress, and then we have triple Helm. Then we have 1 Draco back, 2 copies of Emblem, 1 Faithful Adventurer with 1 Foolish Barrel. You have triple copies of Shipyard, triple Rite of Armies here, 2 Talents, and triple Empire. Then, of course, 1 Almirage. Did a lot of that today. Triple copies of Plunder Patrol Captain, 2 copies of the Morik, 1 Abyssal, your 1 Shengying, your 1 Jord, 2 Bran, your 1 Baron, your 1 Dragite, and your 2 Lice. And then you got triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird, triple Dark Hole, 1 Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping this up. So, I guess the real question I need to answer is this package, do you have to play the Brave package in order to play this deck? Unfortunately, I think that we've kind of reached the point now that you can't play Plunder Patrol without this. This gives your deck like a super solid backing and actually ensures that you can kind of tunnel through some plays that might not normally be really possible or have a line of defense that you might not normally have. And that's why, like, I definitely think that this package is very, very good, because don't underestimate how good this is. Next up here, okay, so I saw a showcase for the Gold Pride deck. Now, a couple of little things for this. Obviously, we're missing a whole crap ton of cards that could systematically make this deck better. But you got to ask yourself the question of, for where we're at right now with this deck, is there a way to quite possibly, you know, make this work? Well, Kira Twig uploaded a deck profile. I figured we'd go ahead and showcase it because I think that this is a good step in the right direction. Now, that being said, I mean, you're still going to be fighting a massively, massive uphill battle with this deck. Like, don't get me wrong, all right? Like, you're still playing Gold Pride at the end of the day. And, you know, obviously, like, you can rely on good Floodgates. You know, Start Your Engines are a very good card. But at the end of the day, like, how much real value will you be able to kind of generate from this? I think the answer is, I think this could be a pretty fun local deck. So we have 1 Allied Birdman, triple copies of Captain Carey for just your searchability for this good card. We have triple copies of Leon, triple copies of Nitro Head. We have triple copies of Pilica. This is actually kind of interesting. Wind interactions here with Leon. We have triple copies of Tracker. We have 1 Sea Archiver. And then we have triple copies of Emergency Teleport with 1 Foolish Barrel. And then we have the Crowd Goes Wild at 3. 1 copy of the Feather Duster. Your 1 Instant Fusion with your 1 Mind Control. 1 Monster Reborn. 2 Ready Fusion. 1 Rhoda. 1 Upstart. 2 Start Your Engines. Triple Imperm. And triple There Can Only Be 1. Then you got 1 Win. 1 Underworld Goddess. 1 Unicorn. 1 IP. Your 2 Nitro. 1 Borreload, 1 Phantom, 1 copy of Levier, 1 Mistworm, 2 Star Leon, 1 Brionic, and 2 copies of Dragoness here. Wrapping up, honestly, something I think you could actually have a little bit of fun with, alright? Now, last we have here was a Gishki deck. Now, I've heard so many people go, Robbie, I don't want to play Sprite in my deck. Okay, well, I actually saw somebody step up to the plate here and actually showcase a pretty cool list that actually doesn't rely on having to play those gosh darn contaminating Sprite cards. How dare we try to make our deck as consistent as possible? How could we want to do that? So we have triple copies of the Botanicul Princess, triple copies of good old Gishki Abyss, shenanigans here, by the way. We have triple copies of Gishki Grim, triple copies of Gishki Shadow, triple copies of Gishki Vision, and then we're actually messing around with 1 Gust Kraken in the deck. Actually, you start doing some shenanigans with this. We have 2 copies of Nemesis, 1 Zale Gygas, triple copies of Focalization, 1 copy of Call by the Grave, your triple Forbidden Droplet, triple Aquamere, 1 copy of Gishki Ice Mirror, 1 Photomere, then we have 1 Monster Reborn, triple copies of Salvage, 1 Surface, 1 Aquamere Illusion, and then we have triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Down in the extra, get the 1 Elf, 1 Avermax with 1 Anemone. We have 1 Nightmare Unicorn with 1 IP. We have 1 Area, 1 Totally Awesome with 1 Gustav Max, 1 Kraken Spawn, 1 Century with 1 Stealth Kraken, 1 Gigantic Sprite, 1 Zeus, 1 Bahamut Shark, and 1 Abyss Dweller here. Wrapping up, honestly, just a pretty good showcase of what we're starting to see unpack here as we kind of go forward into what is going to be the new format. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.